Alright, before I go on and make the mask, I wanted to take a moment and say thank you so much for all the essential workers, for putting your life at risk for all of us. My best friend and her husband are essential worker, my aunt. I'm so grateful, and I actually made this for my best friend and her husband. She's a mom, so made a little mom life one. I hope she likes it. Yeah, I mean, it's so simple. Just put a mask on when you go out. You're protecting yourself, you're protecting others. Hopefully, this goes away really soon. But for now, if you know someone that might want a mask, that might need a mask, you can make it or share the video if they know how to sew. I mean, you don't even have to know how to sew. I didn't know how to sew before this, and look at me now, making all these. I'm obsessed. I love sewing. So yes, so make your mask, have fun, protect yourself, protect others, and yes, that's all. That's all I wanted to say. Just protect yourself, protect others, and thank you. Okay. All right, so let's talk about fabric. Your best bet for fabric is going to be 100% cotton or cotton blend. Actually, your best bet is going to be a hospital mask, but we don't all have that at home. So if you want to make your own mask at home, you can do like me. I have a 100% cotton t-shirt. I'm going to do 2 layers of this and 1 layer of this pretty camouflage fabric on top. The reason why I'm using 2 layers of the 100% cotton, it's because this is not 100% cotton. If this was, I would just use 1 of this and 1 of that. And this is what it's gonna look like in the end. Okay? So when you get your fabric, I recommend, actually, please do this, is wash it and dry it, because you don't want to have your mask already and then you wash it, you dry it, and then it shrinks to nothing. So do that first. And then another tip that I like to do is to actually iron your clothes before you start sewing. It just makes it a little bit easier when you sew it in the machine or by hand. It's not necessary, but I like to do it. Okay, so let's cut our pattern. Alright, so to make this, just grab a regular sheet of paper from your printer. So you're gonna go to the top and make a little mark at 10.5 centimeters. This is gonna be 4.1 inches. Then you come here and make a little mark at 5.5 centimeters, and that is 2 inches from the top. And then here you're gonna make another one which is at 14 centimeters, and that equals to 5.5 inches. And then gonna come down here and you're gonna go to 17.5 centimeters. Okay. And then from here to here you're gonna go to 4 inches, 4.1 inches, it's 10.5 centimeters. It's the same from the top, right here. And then you're gonna go here to the 10 centimeters, and you're gonna go all the way to you're gonna go all the way to 13 centimeters, which is 5.1 inches from here. Okay. So then you have these little marks on your page. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a little semicircle. It doesn't have to be perfect. The only thing that really matters is that it's slanted at the top, because that's where your eye is gonna be, on your nose. So you kind of make it go up slightly and then up, 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 to make it more dramatic at the nose. And then you're gonna go to your 14 centimeters and attach it to the bottom of the chin here, and you're gonna do a slight curve. Doesn't have to be too curvy because this is your chin area. Okay. And then you're gonna go to that little dot here, and you're gonna connect the top to the bottom. Just make a slight curve just so your nose can fit in there. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry. Okay, and there you have it. you can write face pattern 1. You can make another one, but it's not really necessary. And then you're just gonna go around and cut your pattern. And there you have it, you have your pattern. So now this is optional. You can go and iron your fabric. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so you lay your fabric flat. You're gonna put your pattern on top, so you can see the area that you need to iron. There. Okay, so lay your fabric again. This is a double layer, so when you cut, there'll be 2 layers. Same with the black fabric. Okay, so you're gonna lay down your pattern. This is a shirt, so there's 2 layers. That's what you're gonna wanna have, is 2 layers. And you can use this. I love this, it's so easy. You just cut around, flip, flip, flip. But what you can do, if you don't have that, is grab some pins. Pin your fabric. And then you can cut with scissors all the way around. I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna go the easiest way. I don't know what it's called, but it looks like a pizza cutter. Just make sure you have this thing specifically made for cutting so that you don't cut your table, and be careful with your fingers, of course. There you have it, your pattern. So now you have 2 layers. You're gonna do the same thing with the army print, but before that, you're gonna do a second one of this one. So here you have both your patterns, 2 layers, so you have 4 layers. All right. So now you have all 3, and you have a total of 6 layers. Okay, so now you're gonna take one of those and you're gonna sew over here, okay? Now, like I said earlier, if this was 100% cotton, you wouldn't need an extra one, but since it isn't, I mean, if it was, you could just sew this together. You would just do it with the pattern inside, like so. so that when you sew and then you flip it, you will see this. So what you do is you align the nose tip together and the chin together, and then we're putting an extra layer for more protection. So we're putting an extra layer for more protection. Here we go. So you're gonna align this up. This is not aligned right now. And you're gonna sew this part right here, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna sew along the top, along the longest part of the fabric. And I leave about a 1/3 inch, about 1 centimeter. And reverse. You can go ahead and cut this off. I like to pull a little on mine. I like this tool because it just cuts it off. There you go. Okay, put this one aside, the one that's ready. Take these ones. If this was 100% cotton, I would just sew the top part up. Just make sure that the pattern is on the inside, because we're gonna flip it around at the end. Okay, so you would just sew this if this was 100% cotton, but since it isn't, I'm gonna add another layer for just for protection. So you just make sure you align the nose with the nose and the chins with the chins, and then same thing on the other side, and then you're gonna sew the top here. I mean, make sure it's aligned. It's not aligned right now, but when you do, just make sure it's the longest part that you sew. Okay, so what I did is I ironed it. You don't have to, but it just makes it a little flatter here. So once it's all aligned, you can sew it. Okay, and just trim the edges off. Okay, this is optional, but what I like to do now is to iron this flat so that when you put it on, it's nice on your nose, on this one and on this one. So you just split it open and iron. Okay, so now we're gonna sew the entire mask all the way around, and then when you get to the bottom, you're gonna leave almost the entire thing here, 2 inches about, so that you can flip it upside down. So I'll show you how to do that. But first, we're gonna talk about elastics. So for these elastic, they're very stretchy. So I did about 15.5 centimeters, so that's about 5.5 inches. And it all depends on your head, really, and it depends on the quality. Like if this is not that stretchy, I did 6.5, 7 inches for this, and this is about 5.5, 6. Okay, so you can gauge it, and then you're gonna cut 2 of those for each ear. So what you do, you got both your parts. You're gonna put this thing on the outside, so the nose is here, the top, and then you're gonna do the same thing with this one. This is on the outside, and then you put the nose together, and you can pin this. Just make sure it's aligned. Okay, now there's those 2 parts. You're gonna put the elastic inside. So you go about 1 centimeter in or more, 1.5 centimeters. Then you put your other part, you put it on top, and you pin that. All right, now you go inside and you grab the other part, and you're gonna do the same thing here, about 1 centimeter or more, and you're gonna put your other part on top to close, and grab another pin. All right, now you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And make sure your elastics are going inside and not sticking out, because what you might do is sew it to the side, and you don't want to do that. Trust me, I did that once. It sucks. So make sure they're shoved in when you go and sew around, and then you can pin the rest like this. Okay, so here's the nose, here's the chin. You're gonna leave an opening here when you get to the end, so you're gonna sew all the way around, and then you're gonna skip over and finish sewing here, so that you can at the end flip it upside down. Okay, so let's get sewing. Make sure it's pushed in. And just go over, rewind over the elastic. right, so here, remember, you're gonna just go about to here, and then you're gonna skip over and go to here. All right, so pull it out about the same amount. Okay, that's good. A little bit more. And then go about 2 centimeters from the end and finish it off, making sure the elastic's not in. Okay, now you're gonna go around and get rid of all the little, well, actually it's only these ones. Make sure you don't cut this, but just the end here. Right, now you're gonna flip it upside down. Just be careful with the wire here. And what I like to do is grab the elastic in the inside, so it can help you pull it out. Just go gently so you don't ruin your stitches. Push it with your finger or with a pen, especially on the nose area. Okay, and then you can sew this together in the end. Right. And poke a hole through. This is called an invisible stitch. And what you're gonna do is go on the other side. Okay. Gonna go on the other side and make a horizontal stitch. Okay. And then you do the same thing on the other side, opposite and horizontal. And see, it kind of joins them together. Horizontal. Just make sure it doesn't come out the other side. Okay, and now you can just make a knot by going inside the loop. You can do that a couple times. All right, now you can cut it off. And there you go. You have your mask. All right, this is the final product. I'll try it on for you. Here we go. I feel very protected. That's what it looks like on the side. And there you go. And the cool thing about it is that you can flip it upside down if you want to wear the black side. If you want to put a different fabric here, you can. Just make sure that when you use it, put it to wash. Don't wear it 2 days in a row, for example. So yeah, that was fun to make. I hope you liked it. And if you did, give it a thumbs up because it helps the channel. And click the subscribe button because why not? Just why not? I hope you liked this video. I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna be making this one, which looks normal, but actually you can put a filter in it, so for essential workers. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.